Everybody, this is Clifford on 100. Today we're going to be talking about more books that Tupac read and some of the actions that he had. Alright, so this is going to be covered in 4 parts. The truth about the seven enigma. That's going to be talking about the seven theory and why Tupac was obsessed with it and where did it come from. And I have the actual source of where it came from. It's a book. Um, Next, we're going to be talking about Tupac psychic studies. You know, why he was obsessed with predicting everything. Next, we're going to be talking about Tupac's rules of the game. The truth about the rules of the game that you guys did not know about. And the last part, I really wouldn't count the 4th part because we're going to be talking about the White Book by Makavelli. And even though this is not a particular book that Tupac read, some have theorized that this book was written by Tupac, and I just want to see if it's valid or invalid. We're gonna prove that today, whether it's valid or invalid. We're gonna attempt to, with the evidence that I have gathered, we're gonna try to attempt to see if that book is valid or invalid. Okay, so first we're gonna talk about the seven enigma. All right. Before I go any further, I just want to give a shout out. This is a website, Hip Hop is Read, and this is not the original website where we got all the books that Tupac read, but it's one of the websites that carried the list that he had. This is an old website, and it was posted on 2007. The website here, if you click the link, it's invalid, so it doesn't work anymore. That website doesn't work anymore. Here on Goodreads.com, the list of Tupac's books that Tupac read is all here, and some of these books I added on extras because I found them in interviews, so you can see me down there explaining and posting links where Tupac said in interviews the extra books that he read that was not a part of that reading list, but it's also books that he read. So the book reading list that existed before the books that I added, that was the list, and the list is not yet completed because I got to find all the rest of them in the interviews, all the interviews he did, you know. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna go deep into that. Yeah, like I said, all these books, all of these books here that you're seeing that I added, I managed to get them all on the list with the help of somebody. And yeah, like I said, these books, these are all rare books that have never been released. One of the books, Sun Views, this book I added to the list because Tupac actually read this book. It's called here. Give me 1 second because these pop-ups keep coming up and it's making me sick. Okay, so as you can see here, real quickly before the page refreshes, this is Tupac with the book Sun Views by Sundiata Acoli, and I added that book to a Goodreads account to count as books that he read because he's here with this book, and I'm pretty sure he was a big fan of Sundiata Acoli. So that was another one of the books that I added there, and see, I posted a link to my photo bucket, and he read that book Sun Views, and so I added it to the reading list. So again, all these books that are on the reading list are actual books that Tupac read. They're actual books. See, there goes Sun Views by Sundiata Acoli, and I think that picture was in the 1980s. Okay, so again, well back to Hip Hop is Read. I just wanted to shout that out. I don't know if the site is still functioning because that site has been going on for about almost 11 years now, and I don't know if they actually updated it. I want to give a shout out to Layla Steinberg and her website, Aim for the Heart. This is her website, and if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see some photographs they took with some of the students there. There's Layla Steinberg. If you could see her right here, that's Layla Steinberg. And I'm pretty sure there's some of her people from her immediate circle. So just get out there and support. Aim for the Heart movement. Layla Steinberg was one of the proteges that brought Tupac up into his knowledge. So get out there, support her. I want to give a shout out to Atron Gregory, Poppy Vaughn, uh, Papa G, from Death Row Records. I also want to give a shout out to Tracy Danielle, who was in Pac's era known as Tracy Robinson. I want to give a shout out to Capital LS. Not too many people know who that is, but he used to freestyle and rap with Tupac all the time. Natasha Walker, Storm Outlaws. I'm following her on Instagram, The Real Storm. Shout outs to Nancy Fletcher. She sung the hook on "Holla at Me" with Tupac, and she did a lot of Death Row songs together with Pac. And if there's anybody I've left out, to give a shout out, forgive me. Oh, the Outlaws. Make sure y'all support the Outlaws, Outlaw Nation. If they still got their website up, Outlaw University, support Pac's peoples. Because if we're gonna be Tupac fans, we gotta support his peoples. You understand me? All right, so we 7 minutes into the video, so let me just go ahead and get into this part 1, and that's the 7 Enigma. Now, let me show y'all where this came from. Now, many of y'all been asking where Tupac get his 7 theory, like the theory of 7. Like, where does that come from? This is a book that's on Tupac's list. It's called The Complete Illustrated Book of Psychic Sciences by Walter B. Gibson and Litzka R. Gibson. Now, let me show you something. I want y'all to pay attention. This is one of Tupac's reading libraries. Now, I saved this a long time ago when the Tupac website was still up, like a while back. And this was passed on into truthabouttupac.net. .com or makaveliboard.net. All in the real Tupac forums that his immediate family and his immediate circle of friends are a part of. I got this information and all his reading books list. So this is one of the books that Tupac read. It's on his official reading list. Now, let me show you why this book is important and how the 7 theory and the 7 enigma came about. Let me show you. If we turn to page 232, we find the number 7, and according to this book, it represents mystery, study, knowledge. It represents a study, knowledge, and mystery. Now, before we go any further, I just want to say to you guys that when Pac read this book, it wasn't to create, at first it was not to create any theories. He was trying to get in the stage of psychic phenomenon. We'll get to that next, but first let's observe the 7. Okay, it says, as a birth number, 7 denotes a scholarly, poetic nature, often inclined toward the fanciful. Though persons with this birth vibration are analytical as well, intuition is a strong part of their nature, and many such persons are highly imaginative. They are naturally fond of the mysterious and, as a result, may become moody and depressed. We're going to read on. Solitude often inspires these people, but obscurity disheartens them, for they are apt to blame the world rather than themselves for their failure to gain prominence. This draws them into deeper despondency, to the point where they may refuse to mingle in ordinary affairs of life. Though capable of solving intricate problems, they seldomly really understand themselves. Composers, musicians, students, philosophers, and outright mystics are nurtured by this birth number, and often they seek solace in such pursuits. But to be really happy, a number 7 person must become a part of this world rather than seeking to be completely out of it. As a name number, 7 has grand possibilities. A person with that name vibration can bend his natural talents to art, science, and philosophy, often attaining greatness in a chosen field. They may rise to dramatic heights, but should remember that their success will depend upon quiet planning and may often require deep meditation. Gloomy thoughts and practical dreaming are a weakness of this name vibration. Therefore, such persons should devote effort to purposes that are possible of attainment, for there they can often go beyond all normal expectation, turning their intuition and imagination to great advantage. It says persons with this name number can become leaders and teachers of high order, for they possess deep understanding of others and thereby inspire loyalty. They will need the help of such persons to gain commercial success or financial independence, for these are not found in the vibration of number 7. Now, what this basically is saying here, remember it said they will need the help of such persons to gain commercial success and financial independence. So even though Tupac says in his songs he's a self-made millionaire, he's not really self-made. He had the help of Layla Steinberg, Atron Gregory, Donovan Henry. I'll make a video about Donovan Henry and prove his validation, because guys, everybody wants to denounce that guy, but Donovan Henry is a real deal guy. He's known as the dancer. So I'll make a video validating Donovan Henry. He really did run with Pac. And as a matter of fact, you can see Donovan Henry in a lot of Pac's music videos. You can see him in the All About You music video. You can see him in the movie Juice. You can see him in Dancing with Oprah Winfrey, doing dance choreography. Donovan Henry is everywhere. But getting back to this, Tupac needed other people for financial success and commercial success. Financial independence and commercial success. I'm sorry, I'm struggling here because I'm trying to rush this. And in order to do that, he had to have help. He had to have a team. Not Kendrick Lamar. Kevin Hart talks about this, how he has a team. He puts a team together, and that's how he gets his success going. So there is no I in team. You understand me? So even in self-made, there's no I. You have to have a team together. You don't necessarily have to have a team, but this is what Tupac put together. His manager with Layla Steinberg and Shock G and Donovan Henry and Tracy Danielle and Capital LS and Ray Love and Mopreme, even his brother Mopreme. He had a team, guys. That's how he got to where he was. He had a team. But getting back to the 7 theory, enigma, because it's no longer a theory now. I just told you the truth. This is the real book that Tupac read. And it's based on psychic scientists. And I just showed y'all it's not Pandora's box, but it's very, very close. Because now you know that that 7 represents mystery and knowledge. So every time you look at this, you will know that Tupac was a man of renaissance. When this was his signature number. But what if I told you guys, because they talked about the name number. What if I told you guys this is not Tupac's birth number? This is not his life path number. His life path number is a 4. And I'm going to prove that to you right here. Okay. See, it shows you how to break down the birth number, you know, by adding the digits of somebody being born across, like right here. You add these across. You understand me? You add them across. So, you know, you add those across. Okay. That. You add that across. And you get the number. And even when you get the last number, you add that across. Okay. And that 10, you add that across until you get one single number. And that's the life path number. See? Now, let me show you here. I took the liberty of looking at Tupac was born on June 16, 1971. Now, I added that across until we got 31. Once we got 31, then I add that across and we got the single number, which is 4. 4 is Tupac's life path number. Mine is below that, but we're not going to focus on me right now. This is all about Pac. You understand me? So, let's dive in. All right, so basically what you're looking at, this is Tupac's life path number. Now, you would understand now why Tupac would deviate away from this number. Even though this is his life path number, he deviated away from it and went by 7. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it says Av's birth number, 4 stands for steady, plodding nature, which always favors caution rather than risk. See, Tupac didn't want to be cautious. He wanted to take a risk. He wanted to get to the top. Say, though persons with this vibration may be able to grasp new ideas quickly, they usually refer to study them out. They prefer to study them out. To have a thing right is of prime importance to anyone with the solid way of thinking represented by number 4. Now, before we go on to the next paragraph, you see why he deviated away, right? Right there. Look at these. These are what? Swastikas. Now I'm pretty sure this symbol is not what it meant when before Hitler made it a symbol of hate or a symbol of war. But nevertheless, Pac probably saw this in this book and immediately deviated away from the number 4 and went by 7 instead, because he wanted to be a mystery. All right. So it continues talking about number 4. It say honesty and reliability are normal attributes with this birth number. So Tupac was already an honest person and he was reliable, but they hinge upon the satisfaction or security that the individual may gain from patience and perseverance. If frustrated, the number 4 nature can denote the schemer rather than the plotter. Reduced to small opportunities, a person with this vibration may begin to think in small terms. 2. So that number 4 can become the symbol of poverty and defeat. Now, you see why Tupac did not like this number? He didn't like 4 because this was his life path number. He didn't want to be on that life path. So he went by he went by 7. And I'll show you again why he chose 7. Oddly, however, this birth number is coming more into its own with the modern demands for technicians, researchers, and specialists of many sorts, from whom exacting duties are demanded. The birth number 4 makes a firm foundation for development of acquired abilities, As a name number, 4 signifies success in scientific and mechanical fields, particularly with growing industries. It stands for steadiness and stability. Hence, persons with this vibration should cultivate those qualities. Number 4 persons often gain friends through their dependability and honest, constant effort will bring them high recognition the longer they stay with it. Any lack of brilliance in this vibration is offset by its strength and power of endurance. Persons of the true number 4 type are seldom temperamental, and they are extremely good in an emergency treating difficult situations in a normal, easy manner. The best advice to number 4 is to keep on plugging, learning new things all the while. Above all, these people should never underestimate their own importance, for their strong qualities are always in demand. So even though Tupac has some attributes of his life path number, he did not want to live in poverty and defeat. He did not want to be a part of that. So that makes sense why he hurried up, got this book, and studied it, but he wanted to vibrate on success. So the theory that he went by, now I'm inserting a theory. Remember, I just gave y'all facts. This is facts. This is the actual book that Tupac read. This is facts. Now I just broke down to y'all his life path number. I just told you what 7 represents according to this book. Now, let me show you. What would make sense why he would go by 7 is 1 plus 6 is 7. Look, June 16th. So this is the theory that Tupac himself went by and said, okay, I'm going to go by 7. And that's why in all of his work, you see all the 7s everywhere. Because he was trying to create mystery. He was trying to get mystery. And you read in this paragraph, if you read it, financial independence and commercial success. He got to seek the help of others to get it. So Tupac knew what where he wanted to go. He knew where he wanted to go with the 7 enigma. And this psychic sciences, this book, I ordered obviously because Tupac, read the book. This is another book that he read. We're gonna get into the. I'm not gonna read this one because this one is a little bit more deeper. But this is the book, The Psychic Realm. What Can You Believe? And Tupac read these both books. And let me just go back to the list so you can see that that actually is a part of his library. And also here says here Psychic Realm by the same author. It's the same author. Look, same author. It's the same. What Can You Believe? But yeah, and my life path number. This used to be my name. I recently went to court and changed my name, but this used to be my name. My life path number is a 7. So this would make sense that everything comes full circle, and everything that was described in that in the 7, the book of psychic sciences, everything described. The musicians, students, philosophers. I am his student. And I am a musician. I do rap. And I do art. And I got a lot of talents. And I too will need to get help from other people. If I don't get help from other people, I can at least get it from other books. And that still would get me on the road to riches. So let me show y'all something else. So we talked about the number 7 and how it's connected to Pac. We talked about his actual life path number, which is 4, which he probably changed it up because it represent endurance. And Tupac was tired of enduring, so he switched to 7 in order to, that was one of his tools to success. That was one of the tools he used to get to his success. You understand me? And financial independence. He was seeking help in these areas. This let me show y'all something else. Now, he used the number 8. He used the number 8. So he didn't just use 7. He also used 8. And I'm going to prove this. Watch. This is the same book he read. I'm going back. It says number 8, material success. Okay? Now, I'm going to prove to you that he used the number 8. Now, watch this now. Before I read the paragraph, watch this. Okay? Now, look at Makavelli. This is Tupac's last studio album. Count the letters. That's number 8. Makaveli. That's 8 letters. Okay? And this album was a commercial success. It was a very, very big success. And people still listen to this day. So this was one of his successful albums. That's 8. Okay? He also used the symbolism again. Let me show you. If you look in the cover of Niggas, Strictly for My Niggas, you'll see that there's a dash right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5, and then if you look closely, if I can get a good, if you look closely, there are 3 extra red dashes below that. That's 8. That's 8. And I'm going to show you again. Look at the CD and look at the dots. So N dot, that's 1 dot. I dot, that's 2, the second dot. And then G dot, that's the third dot. And then 4, 5. And then after Z, there's 3 additional dots. That's 8. That's 8, ladies and gentlemen. That's 8. So he's trying to symbolically put his material success in his work. And believe it or not, look at the tracks. Look at the tracks on the back. Holla If You Hear Me was very successful. Another success, hit record. Keep Your Head Up was a success. I Get Around was a very successful. So he had 3 hit songs, to my best of my understanding. He had 3 hit songs on this album. And this is what got him commercial success. Like, to this day, people still consider Strictly for My Niggas one of his most successful albums, despite all the others. Okay? So he used symbolic 8. There's probably other CDs that he used it in, but for now we got Strictly for My Niggas and Makavelli, where he used 8, the symbolism of 8. Okay, so now we're gonna read the paragraph of what 8 stands for. Just give me 1 second. Now look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Now again, this is not Tupac's life path number, but he followed this numerology stuff to a T. Now look, it says material success. Material success. This is what 8 symbolizes. It says, all right, I believe it starts on this page. What number 8, what it signifies. It says, as a birth number, 8 means business. It is the token of the steady builder who can go far in the age of vast commercial and industrial development. You see that? It symbolizes persons who put plans into execution. You see that? Complete them and then go on to something still bigger. Now you see that now this is what 8 says. So he put this into execution and went on to something bigger. What was bigger than Strictly for My Niggas? The next one was Me Against the World. Well, somebody would say Thug Life is the next album, but that's a collaboration album. Me Against the World was the album that he did that was bigger than Strictly for My Niggas, and it ended up going to the top of the charts even when he was in prison. But let's continue. It says the vibration shows a person with a strong
forceful nature, who will demand and get the most from others. Opposition does not stop them. Instead, it urges them on to greater effort. Persons with this birth number have embarked upon great military and political careers because executive ability is needed in those fields as much as in the business world. In social life, persons with this vibration are apt to judge friends by wealth and success, setting those as their standards. Those more costly a thing may be. The more costly a thing may be, the more they admire it. So Tupac he wanted to be flashy. In their quest for wealth and their power, they may I'm sorry, let me read that again because I know I'm doing poor right now with the reading. I can read better than this, guys. It's just I'm trying to read through the camera, and sometimes I look at the camera rather than looking at the actual book. So I'm sorry about that. It says, in their quest for wealth and power, they may be ruthless with rivals and subordinates, but at the same time, they often carry other persons along with them. So it is extremely wise to get on the good side of a number eighter, if you can find it. As a name number, 8 spells success with dollar marks. So you see, this is what 8 spells. So this is what Tupac wanted. He wanted material success. That's why he put that 8 symbolism in his stuff also. Okay? It thrives on progress and activity. People subconsciously expect big results from a person whose name is tuned to this powerful vibration. Persons with this name number should constantly build for bigger things, but always with good materials. When they have achieved an aim, they should continue on to another. For with them, easing up may mean slipping back. Often they can pick up old or neglected enterprises and turn them to advantage and profit. But they should first make sure that the opportunity is there. The weakness with this name number lies in petty jealousies, wasted efforts, indulgence in small things when large opportunities are available. Think big, act big, and you will be big. If you have name number 8. Exclamation point. So this is what Pac was looking for when he symbolized 8. Okay? So even though he was already obsessed with number 7, he switched to 8 in various things. And this is what brought him success. Okay? And to prove this even further, if you count from September 13th, 1996, all the way up to November 5th, 1996, you'll get, if you, did I say that right? Let me just say it again. If you count from September 13th, 1996, all the way up to November 5th, 1996, you'll get 53 days after he supposedly died. That this album, Makavelli, the Dawn, Illuminati, the 7-Day Theory, it came out 53 days after his so-called death. 5 plus 3, if you add that across, 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 is that symbolism, material success. And when after that, the material success took off. Okay? All right. So that concludes part 1 of the Truth About the 7 Enigma. And so we'll do a recap I'll pause this video and do a recap of that so you guys can understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is part two. We're going to be talking about, in this part, we're going to be talking about the psychic phenomenon, the psychic sciences with Tupac. Um, Starting at 11:46, you're gonna hear him talk about psychic prophecy and all that. So let's listen in, but we're gonna listen to what extra he has to say. Okay.
Why do you think your album is doing so well and continues to do well even though you're in prison? When others who are out here promoting their product, and this is not to cast shadow on any other rapper, but it appears that you've become more popular in your music since your imprisonment. I don't think really the album did as good as it could have been doing, because I ain't getting no awards. MTV ain't giving me no awards, get no Grammys, you know what I mean? I think I dig real deep with this album. But as far as the success that we do have, I owe it all to my fans, I owe it all to the people who supported me. I think the reason being is that...
I'm sorry to stop the video, but the album that he's talking about is Me Against the World, by the way. So, just in case you didn't know, he's talking about Me Against the World. So,
every album, if you go backwards, people would just get turned on to me. If you go backwards and you listen to the other albums I've put out, it was a prophecy. This album, Me Against the World, was made before I went to jail, before I got shot. And all I'm talking about is going to jail and getting shot. So it was a prophecy. So when the album comes out, then you hear about what's really going on in my real life. I mean, I don't have to say I'm keeping it real. You can listen to the music and go, whoa. You know what I mean? He said that. If I die tonight, he said that. In Outlaw, where I said some dudes in a mask coming to shoot me, I said it. You know what I mean? And it ain't easy. I'm talking about being in jail. You know what I mean? And the judge not letting me out on bail. I mean, I said all of these things, and then it happened. How many records?
yeah. All right. So you heard what Tupac just said. Now again, I explained to y'all that I only do videos based on what Pac himself said. I only stick to the facts. I don't do theories. I stick to the facts. Now the fact is, Tupac told y'all that everything he did was a prophecy. That he said it in his music and it happened. That's corresponded with the law of attraction and psychic sciences. Again, he studied the book of psychic sciences. And it talks about clairvoyance in this book. So does this book. This is another one of the psychic books that he read. He also read Nostradamus and other psychic books. But like he said, Tupac said, it's a prophecy. If you go back and study his music, everything he said was going to happen has happened. It corresponds with the law of attraction. You don't believe me? Look at Snoop Dogg when he did the Breakfast Club interview. When he said that he wrote "Murder Was the Case," he wrote that song, and then his real life murder case was manifested before him. This is not new. The law of attraction and the psychic sciences, that stuff is real. It's not new. This is facts, ladies and gentlemen. That's facts. You understand me? We gonna get into the two books that Tupac read that was based on the law of attraction. The first one was Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. The second one was The Game of Life, How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. I think I said that right. You know, I'll put up a text with the book, but those are the two books that Tupac read in his life, and they were both based on the law of attraction and the game of life. And you're gonna hear Tupac talk about it more in depth in this interview. But yeah, all of what he said is based on prophecy. It's based on psychic phenomena and clairvoyance. That's why he was able to predict a lot of things before they happen. And based on the psychic sciences, this makes sense how Tupac was having all these visions, all these nightmares about him dying. It's all prophecy. It's all coming to pass. So that's why, you know,
that would make sense. That makes sense. That's consistency. Same thing if you listen to that song Changes, when Tupac said, and even though it's heaven sent, we're not ready to have a black president. He didn't say we're not going to have a black president. He says, even though it's heaven sent. So when we, in 2008, when we got President Obama, even though it seemed like it was heaven sent for us to live to see a black president, we wasn't ready for it. Because what happened? The police brutality happened. So much political repression happened after that. You know, you seen the videos where police officers was wearing body cameras and was still beating down people. This was a prophecy that Tupac already had back when he wrote the song Changes. And even though it seems heaven sent, we're not ready to have a black president. So Tupac predicted it. This is facts. This is not no theories, guys. This is facts. Tupac studied this stuff. It's facts. Psychic phenomenon is not pseudoscience. It's real life. It's real life. It's just a matter of meditating and getting your mind right. It's supposed to be esoteric knowledge because special people are only supposed to have this type of knowledge. Not celebrities are not even supposed to have it. It's supposed to be closed off from the public. You know, the Simpsons, they say the Simpsons predict stuff, but I believe they read a psychic book as well. You know, it's not like it's called prophecy. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. The Bible tells us that. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. You could speak things into existence. This is not new. This is age-old material. You understand me? But again, you know, based on what Pac said, he wrote it, he spoke it, he said it, and then it happened. You know, him getting shot, he predicted he was going to get shot. Him getting robbed, he predicted that he was going to get robbed. Him getting time in jail for something he didn't do, and then getting being bailed out, he predicted that. He said it. He spoke it into existence. You understand me? So that's the psychic sciences, and we're gonna get to those two books that I mentioned, Think and Grow Rich and The Game of Life and How to Play It. Those two books, and they're gonna be very important for the next part. The next part is called The Rules of the Game. So let me pause this. We're gonna continue a little bit because Tupac has more to say about the spiritual and psychic phenomena.
It's not glorification. No matter what these people say about me, my music does not glorify any image. My music is spiritual if you listen to it. It's all about emotion. It's all about life. And where other rappers, not to diss nobody, but where other rappers might, you know, paint a perfect picture of themselves, or, you know, whatever, I tell my innermost, darkest secrets. I reveal myself in every one of my records, from Dear Mama to Shed So Many Tears. I tell my own personal problems, you know, and people can relate to that, I believe. And that's what makes it sell the few copies we do sell. You realize that you have...
So yeah, that's it. That's but you heard him earlier. He talked about he spoke things into existence. He said it and he spoke it into existence. But I wouldn't find that surprising considering the fact that he read books on psychics and books on telepathy. These are all books that Layla Steinberg talked about. But y'all just was not paying attention because you was listening to all these new school rappers and you missed the gift that Tupac was giving y'all. Like, his reading books is a gold mine. Now the problem is that this new generation, they don't believe in reading books. So they never gonna get to his level. They never gonna get to Tupac's level because they don't have the time to do the studies. They don't have the time. So because you don't have the time to pick up a book, you'll never be as great as him. And and the funny thing about it is, and I'm gonna insert this in here again. I'm inserting some. Now I just gave you the facts. Now I'm finna insert something. What if he was following Jim Morrison? Because if you go and research Jim Morrison read a lot of books. And because Jim Morrison read a lot of books, he went on to greatness because he studied the greats and see what they thought. And then he implemented his music his own way. Now look at Tupac. Tupac studied all the greats. William Shakespeare and Machiavelli. He studied all these great thinkers. You know, all the black, and even black thinkers too. Even the Black Panther Party, Sundiata Acoli. Remember I told you in the last video that he had read a book on Sundiata Acoli? He studied all these great people, read all these great books and stuff like that. Now look at his music. His music is so potent that people immediately attract to it. That's called power, guys. So I think this is gonna be it. I'm gonna pause this. We're gonna go back to we're gonna go to the next part called the rules of the game. In this part, we're gonna be talking about the rules of the game. And so this is part 3, guys. I mean, I was gonna split this video up, but I decided to, you know, I could just cut it and edit it later. I'm just trying to get all this together. So the third part we're going to be studying is Tupac's rules of the game, the truth about it. Now, many of you think that Tupac is talking about actual rules, actual principles that he put in his music, but it's not that, guys. It's not that. Because that is just him speaking more metaphorically of what he did with the rules of the game. The rules of the game is just one simple understanding. And before I show you the 2 books that he read, which is Think and Grow Rich, he read this one in 19, I believe, when this first hit the shelf, he read it. And then this next book, this also book, this is The Game of Life and How to Play It and Win. This was by Florence Scovel Shinn. I will post a link in the description. The edition of the book he read was published on June 1st, 1978. It's a classic prosperity edition. The Prosperity Classic Edition. I'm sorry. In chapter 1, it says the rules of the game. The Old and Testament give the rules of the game with wonderful clearness. This is the game of life. Y'all about to get this. This is the game of life. See? It says The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. This is the book that Tupac read back then. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Life to be there. But I also felt like I wanted to go to college. Not college in school or university, but college in life. I wanted to move up. So I wanted to do something different. I wanted to expand. I wanted to grow. And that's what this was all about, by saying, you know, no more of that. I want some more of this. I want y'all to see this. You didn't like that? Well, you definitely ain't gonna like this. So what I would tell, you know, anybody who would listen to me is that, you know, you got to start peeping game. Peeping the game. The game is the game of life. You got to start peeping how they're doing it. And if you see it, you can see the little signs that says that the guns are turning away from, you know, Europe and Russia and Iran and Iraq, and they're turning to us. Because look how they're doing our music. You know, you've never seen in no time in history where they put so much attention on some music. You know what I mean? And made it like we are the cause of all these problems. You can look at it with a 3 strikes law.
Okay, so before we continue, Tupac was expressing his political views about the music industry and that how we were being focused on very heavily. And even right now in the new school generation in 2018, they're still focused on music. Music is influencing the young generation to act rebellious, to do everything. And, you know, so that's why we got to be real careful what we putting out there. But going back to the fact, Tupac said, the game of life, you got to start peeping game. And he said, the game is the game of life. And the rules of the game. Now, the rules of the game, I think, is the laws of the universe. The rules of the game is the laws of the universe. And this would tie into the law of attraction or street smarts, if you want to call it that. So when Pac was talking about the game of life, he's talking about street rules, like being the rule to winning the game of life. The game of life don't have to consist of anybody's particular rules. It's just that you have to win in the game of life. You have to figure out the laws of the universe. You could say it that way, or you need to figure out how to navigate through the world by your own set of rules or systematic rules that were given to you. You understand me? And, you know, even though Pac broke it down very, very clearly when he told you to peep game. And that's the game of life. Now, if we hyphenate those two words, peep game, according to definition, if you look in Google search, peep means to quietly look, to do so silently. Game could mean knowledge. It could be a system. So peep game, when you put that together, it could mean intake knowledge. See how deep that is? It can mean intake knowledge or watch closely and observe and then finesse. That's what the rules of the game is about. And then let me show you right here. And Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice, you'll see in the introduction. It talks about the rules of the game. Okay? Talks about the rules of the game. And I picked this up a long time ago. It says, yet it is plain and elementary truth that the life, the fortune, and the happiness of each of us depends upon our knowing something of the rules of a game more difficult, far more interesting, and much more exciting than chess. Here is a game that has been played for untold ages. Each of us is one of two players in a game of his or her own. The chessboard is our world. The pieces are the phenomenon of the universe. The rules of the game are what we call the laws of nature. The rules of the game are what we call the laws of nature. Look, and then let me go back in there because I done lost my place. Hold on, give me one. It says, those who wait for things to happen or for something to turn up never learn the rules of the most exciting and rewarding game on earth, the game of life. You just heard Tupac say that peep the game. And the game is the game of life. Pac read this book when it first hit the shelf because he was trying to get commercial success. And somebody told him about Think and Grow Rich, and this is another one of the books he read on the rules of the game. Okay? He just switched it up in his own philosophy. When he read books, he studied somebody else's philosophy and then switched it up into his own terms. That's why you may hear him in some songs explaining his own version of the rules of the game of life. You understand me? Even if you hear in what's that song? In Blasphemy, he's so-called giving you his own rules of the game of how he going about life. But to be more clear, he tells you the rules of the game, the actual definition of that whole philosophy is the game of life. You play the game and win. Life is a game to be played and won. You are judged by the moves you make in life. You understand me? So the rules of the game could be the laws of the universe. This still refers back to the law of attraction. And Florence, again, the game of life and how to play it. This is the book that Tupac read while he was at the Baltimore School of the Arts. And the only reason why I know that is because
somebody from his inner circle. I won't say their name. Don't worry, I won't say your name on the thing, because I know you got people making videos on YouTube and you get tired of, getting shout outs and stuff like that. But somebody from Tupac's inner circle had told me that this was one of the books that Tupac read while he was at the Baltimore School of the Arts, The Game of Life and How to Play It. Now, this is a very old book. If you look this book up, this came out in the 1920s by Florence Scovel Shinn. And it was reprinted over and over and over again. One of the reprints that was at the Baltimore School of the Arts was the Prosperity Classic edition. And that one came out on June 1st, 1978. I'll post a link to that book, because this book, and the funny thing about it is, this book talks about the law of attraction, but they present it she presents it in a way that corresponds it as a metaphor. The rules of the game. The rules of the game. And when she says spiritual law, knowledge of spiritual law, and Old and the New Testaments give the rules of the game. So this would make sense why Tupac may have read the Bible and was trying to figure out how to navigate through the world. So Pac may have read the Bible like many of us read it for spiritual purposes, like trying to get enlightenment. He may have read it to try to navigate through the world to get to the next level. You understand me? Death and life is in the power of the tongue. You see that? Now remember earlier I showed you that Tupac was talking about how he predicted stuff, how he spoke things into existence. And the Bible is true. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. The Bible is true, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that it's been altered so many times. So that's why there's a lot of plagues in the world. That would make sense about the plagues in Revelation, because it's been altered so many times. But yeah, this is one of the books that Tupac read. This is the first one at Baltimore School of the Arts, The Game of Life and How to Play It. And he read Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, which this came out in late 1992. So as soon as it hit the shelf, Pac probably got this book. And the only reason why I know he read this book is because, again, that same person that told me that Pac had read this book. See, again, guys, I cannot credit myself for finding this information, because I do have help with other people finding information on Pac. Not just the interviews. When I go look into the interviews, I'm doing that myself. But actual people who've been around Pac, they have this information, and it's critical that I get in touch with those people and find out this small information. But yeah, somebody close to him told me this was one of the books he read, and that he studied this while he was at the Baltimore School of the Arts, because he was trying to get big. He was trying to get famous. And this was one of the books that helped him get there, as well as the team that he put together. Remember the team I told you about? Okay. So, and again, that's the real truth about the rules of the game. He's going to speak it again, but before he speaks it again, let me show y'all something else. Now, if you look at Me Against the World, like, we're going to go to Me Against the World. I mean, not Me Against the World, but Staring at the World Through My Rear View. You're going to hear him say, in the song, you could hear him say in the lyrics, at the end of the song, he talks. And when he's talking, he says, see, y'all ain't knowing what we mean by staring at through the world through the rear view. So since you ain't knowing what we mean, let me break down the understanding. The world is behind us. Once a motherfucker get an understanding on the game, which is the game of life, and what the levels and the rules of the game is, then the world ain't no trick no more. The world is a game to be played. So now we looking at the world from like behind us. Niggas know what we gotta do. Just gotta put your mind to it and do it. It's all about papers. Money rule the world, Bitches make the world go round. Real niggas do what they wanna do. Bitch niggas do what they can. That's some real shit. But off top, he tells you right there that what the levels and rules of the game is. It's the game of life. It's easy. It's easy for you to see. The world is a game to be played. The laws of the universe, all that stuff, it's all in there. This is what Pac said. Now, even though y'all reading the lyrics, let me just hear Tupac say it. So I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to find the part. Listen what he says.
Once a motherfucker get an understanding on the game and what the levels and the rules of the game is, then the world ain't no trick no more. The world is a game to be played. So now we looking at world from out behind us. Niggas know what we gotta do. Just gotta put our mind to it and do it. It's all about the papers. Money rule the world. Bitches make the world go round. Real niggas do what they wanna do. Bitch niggas do what they will. Staring at the world through my rear view.
So that's what he was saying. Is that once you get an understanding of the rules of the game, the game is to be played and won. It's no longer a trick anymore. See? And he's talking about the law of attraction. And that's the laws of the universe. That refers back to law to the universe, aka the rules of the game. Now let me go even further. Let me show you. So right here, he goes in deep. He talks about the rules of the game again. Listen closely.
Thug Life. And in Vibe magazine, when I said Thug Life is dead, that does not mean that Thug Life is dead in the world. That just means that I have graduated to the next level to be a player. Not a player of females, but a player of life. This game of life is a game, and you have to play it to the fullest. And I graduated. You know, I'm in college now, the college of life, you know. And I want my brothers to graduate too. I could easily just look down on you and go, them motherfuckers stupid. You know what I mean? I know something now they don't know. But that ain't me. That ain't never been me. When Thug Life was not out there and I was pumping it to you, I wanted you to know what it was like. And now I want you to know what the next level was like. So I had people telling me, you softened up. Ain't nothing soft about me. Ain't nothing changed. If anything, I feel like the other dudes is soft because they out there fronting. They watching little kids get killed and they still talking it. You know what I mean? And it's cool to talk about it, to recognize it, but I mean, how many times can we say the same thing? You know what I mean? I know it's a way for us to get out the hood, but where do we run into? You know what I mean? Once we get out the hood, shit, they don't want us over there. You know?
Yeah, so, you know, Tupac was talking about thug life and how he graduated to the next level and stuff like that. And he also told you again, he wants to be a player of life. The game of life. He told you again. That's the second time he told you that this life is a game to be played. That refers back to that book, How to... Look. The game of life and how to play it. He told you. He's a player, not of women, but of life. And you have to play it to the fullest. That's what he meant by the rules of the game, aka the laws of the universe. The laws of the universe is the rules of the game. That's the law of attraction. And I just explained to you, and we just heard him explain the law of attraction without even saying the law of attraction. He told you the rules of the game. And he told you he spoke things into existence and they came to pass. And I just gave y'all 2 titles of the books that he read that was based on the laws of the universe, aka the rules of the game. You understand me? This is knowledge that Pac picked up and studied. And that's what sets him apart from all these other rappers. Is because you could trace back every single thing he did to a book. You understand me? So this is documented fact, ladies and gentlemen. This is not theory. This is fact. I'm showing you what Pac said without misinterpreting. I'm showing you what Pac said and relating it back to y'all, back to the books, back to what he actually studied. And he studied and marketed the rules of the game. He said it in different ways. In Blasphemy, he said it in a different way. He tried to say it in a street terms. He tried to give people their own rules to follow. He tried to do it in Blasphemy. He was talking, he said something to some degree, money over bitches because they breed envy. Get your cash up. That was one of the rules. Now he did give us um parts of the rules in his songs, but overall he wanted you to know in the interview that the rules of the game is the game of life. You follow the laws of the universe, you will win the game of life. So Pac knew this information. He knew about the law of attraction. That's one of the things he studied. He also studied the Kabbalah, as Miss Layla Steinberg has pointed out. He studied telepathy and psychic sciences. I showed you the psychic sciences. So we have no more excuses. We as Tupac fans have no more excuses now. We got the books, we got the studies, we got the information. Now we need to implement it to emulate Pac. Not so much emulate his face and his the way he acts, but emulate his geniusness, like his integrity, his consistency, his ability to be resilient and go the extra mile and go to the next level. We need to emulate that. You understand me? So again, I provide this video for Tupac fans. I do not provide this video to insert no theories. I try to stay away from the theories. I try to stick to straight facts. You understand me? And that's what's up. That's where we at. So I'm looking at my notes here and I'm trying to figure out if there's anything I missed. It looks like I covered everything as far as the rules of the game. The only thing I could say is, other than this, is that there are a lot of songs that Tupac mentions the rules of the game. I know Blasphemy is one of them, and there's a couple of other ones that he mentions it. You heard Staring at the World Through Our Rear View. Tupac mentions the rules of the game at the end. He talking about the game of life and how once you know the game of life and how to play it, now you like, this is good. I ain't worried about the world no more. Now I know how to navigate through it. That's basically it. Once you know how to navigate through the world, you pretty much set. It's just like when we kids and our parents teach us how to be respectful, how to treat how to go to school and do what we need to do. We get a basic understanding, but once we get out on the streets and get out on our own and have to fend for ourselves and pay bills and stuff, now we start learning the rules of the game. Once we start learning a little bit of it, once it becomes a habit and you know how to maintain in life the rules of life, then you're not surprised no more. You're not afraid anymore because now you know how to navigate through the world. You understand me? The laws of the universe were supposed to be kept by a select few of people, and it was a book called The Kabalion, and I believe that's one of the original books that came out with the laws of the universe and stuff. There's some other books that came out way before that in the 1800s. If you talk about William Walker Atkinson, that author, that was one of my favorite authors. Florence, when she came out with it in 1920, in the 1920s, the Game of Life and How to Play It. Y'all saw that was one of the authors. Wallace D. Wattles, who came out with the book The Science of Getting Rich. Those are books based on the law of attraction. But again, the main books that Tupac's read, based on the rules of the game philosophy that he came up with, is Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, which came out in 1992, and The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. And that the edition he read came out on June 1st, 1978. It's a prosperity classic. And again, I'll post a link to those books as well. So this is the end of the rules of the game philosophy part. And I hope I cleared that up for y'all so y'all would understand. It's all good now. This is the last part, which is the fourth part, which is the white book valid? Now, everybody wanted to know if this book, the white book by Makavelli, was valid. Before I go to the next part, just remember Prosperity, the Game of Life, and How to Play It. That's the actual book that Tupac read. It came out on June 1st, 1978. That's the book edition that he read. I will post a link. But for now, let's go to the white book by Makavelli. Let's go there. Okay. Now, a lot of people want to know if this book is really true, because some dispute it, say, oh, there's no way that, Tupac could have wrote the book, you know what I'm saying, because he died in 1996 and that's not consistent. Well, everybody got their own opinions, and that's fine. Now, remember, this book came out on October 26, 2007. And everybody rated it to 5 stars. You understand me? You can look at the reviews, on Amazon. The reviews don't lie. It's 100%. Nobody gave any 1 star on it. I, bought the book and rated it, and there goes some of my pictures. You understand me? So people say it's written in code. Yes, it is written in code. And I also forgot to show you that the white book by Makavelli is UV based. So I'm gonna show you that in a minute. Let me show you footage of that. Let me show you footage. So give me 1 second. Look at this. Look, I took the book and all I did was placed it under a UV light outside of a hotel. Watch what happens. Look how it disappears. And look how the sparks. Look. The sparks glow, but the name disappears.
They glow under UV light. Or under LED lights, it glows. That's not a joke.
Now that's a normal light. That's a normal light. You see that?
13.
Those are 13 stars. Sparks.
All of them glow.
And then glow. Now that means something. Now when I put them back into the light, this is under a UV light, it disappears. You saw that? The name disappears. Makavelli disappears, and the 4 stars, the 13 stars, I'm sorry, come up. That means something, ladies and gentlemen. I have another video where I recorded it. I have another video where I recorded that same footage, that a different footage, but at the same location. I went to the hotel, and I tried to and it glowed. I mean, it's UV based. It's UV based. This book, Makavelli, those sparks at the bottom. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Those are 13 sparks. Maybe that symbolizes September 13th, because this right here is UV based. So if you get a UV light and you shine it over that Makavelli part, the name disappears and the 13 sparks light up. Now that's not validation. That's not validating whether the book is true. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Let you give me 1 second.
Let's check the side too.
Pay attention, guys. Again, on the sides, they glow. Look.
And on the side, you see how the letters disappear?
Letters disappear and it glows. Normal light.
That's without the LED lights.
That's with the LED lights.
That's with the LED lights.
Look at that.
All I'm doing is moving it.
All I'm doing is moving it.
And look what happens. It glows.
You see what I'm saying? That is crazy. That is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Look. The number, the name disappears and 13 sparks show up. Now this could symbolize that Makavelli is alive, but he can't be seen.
Now on to the validation part. The part that y'all been waiting for. Is the book validated? Well, before I validate it, before I give my side of the story, let's look at a video real quick. Now this, I'm pretty sure you've seen this video, right? Where this guy comes up on YouTube and says that he's the creator of the White Book. Then he switched his story around and said that he didn't create the White Book, but he was in the vicinity of creating it when it was made. You understand me? This come from NC Studios, and I respect all them people over there at the studios, but I would humbly tell this brother, just listen to what he says. Listen to what.
I just want to write this story. So, man, how would you do it? So I was like, man, if it was me, I would write it like a murder mystery or whatever, and I would tell it from the perspective of I'm telling people all the things that I saw and all these other little details that led to this or whatever. Like, giving a little backstory or whatever. Let's make it like a dope little, almost like a documentary, but at the same time, murder mystery, blah, blah, blah. Include the music, whatever. My man was like, that's a dope idea. What you got going on? At the time, I had a whole lot of personal issues happening, in Chicago or whatever. So that was the reason why.
Okay, now I'm not gonna listen to the whole thing because I watched this video before, and this guy basically, long story short, was saying that Tupac didn't write the book, he wrote the book. Now, I appreciate the dude like trying to come out and make a confession, but this guy is a front man. He's a front man to protect. This is called plausible deniability. Even blown cover can be used as cover. That's what the book Makavelli says in the book. That even blown cover can be used as cover. Let me show y'all my validation why Tupac wrote the book. This is one of Tupac's actual handwritten songs. What do you see? He spells Makavelli with 2 L's. That is not accident, ladies and gentlemen. That is not accident. And guess what? I have the actual audio. The actual audio of that song. Criminal Times. Listen, guys. Listen. Listen closely. Listen.
Take it back. Take it to the first chorus. And them shots right behind me, the sounds of an angry mind. What would they find me in these dangerous times? Rhymes so homicide rap. I'm a breaking son. Makavelli was the name I chose. When I strategize, enemies die. Multiply my clothes. When sipping in and see my enemy so daddy he died. Looking at me shook his head. Bang, ready. Picture me throwing insane. This torture brain. I put this shit inside your heart.
Now see, the song turned off in mid-sentence, but still, he said, rise so homicides rates, I'ma break each time. After he said dangerous times, Makavelli was the name I chose. When I strategize, enemies die, multiply my crimes. When sipping Hennessy, my venom is deadly. He died looking at me, shook as hell. Them bad boys ain't ready. Then he say, picture me growing insane, tortured brain or something like that. And then he said, I put this shit inside your arms. Let it torture your whatever he said there. But the long story short, this is the actual written from Tupac himself. This is the actual written statement that he made in his song. And then if you look closely, you can see a watermark of truthabouttupac.com. They call it Tattoo Dreams. Truthabouttupac.com. So this is an actually watermarked document of Tupac's actual handwritten. Now the reason why is this pointing and validating the White Book? Well, the name Makavelli with 2 L's and with 1 L is copyrighted. Therefore, nobody can use Makavelli unless it's Tupac, because this is his material. This is his material. So nobody can come forth and say that is their book, because guess what? They would be sued for copyright infringement. And this book was published in 2007. Look at the copyright date. Now look at the copyright date. Okay? Look at the copyright date. I showed y'all that's Tupac's Makavelli. Is Tupac's name, both spelled with one L and two L's. Look at this shit now. I stick to the facts. Copyright 2007 by Makavelli. Okay? So that and I just proved to you. Look, here's another one of Tupac's. Listen, this is another one of Tupac's watermarked stuff. 1999 by Tupac Shakur. You understand me? It's watermarked. TruthAboutTupac.com only publishes stuff that was actually written by Tupac. They only keep stuff they only stick to the facts. Look at Frank and Jesse. That's another one of his stuff. You know what I'm saying? Kindred Spirits. This is I believe this is one of the handwritten stuff for the music video. You understand me? This is all Pac stuff. That's all there. It's all there. Even the white book, Nothing Gold. Look, Nothing Gold. That's all there, ladies and gentlemen. It's all there. The proof is all there. Okay? And this is a snippet from the white book decoded. Look, the white book coded. TruthAboutTupac.com. You can find them on TruthAboutTupac.com, the white book. And they've been talking about it since 2011. Now, that dude told us that he supposedly done wrote the book, or he was in the vicinity of writing the book, and he was just trying to warn y'all from being fooled and stuff like that, and trying to keep y'all from reading it because he thought that y'all were being deceived. I don't think he actually thought we were being deceived. I think he was just a front man to protect Tupac from getting caught up. See, if you got plausible deniability and you pass this off as a lie and say that this book is a lie, that actually will work in Tupac's favor, because now people will believe that it's actually a lie. And that way this book can remain esoteric. Therefore, the Tupac fans will secretly read it and know the truth. I ain't gonna spoil the book for you because I want you to read it and study it and decode it. But the book itself is the actual truth. This guy probably just skimmed through the book without even reading it. You know, I'm not gonna attack this brother because I love Pac fans and I love people who have admiration for Pac. But this guy right here, he's just playing his role to deny the book so that people don't get onto it. But I just showed y'all that the memorabilia that we got of Pac, the actual handwritten song, and you just heard me play his audio. Makavelli. That's his book. This right here is copyrighted. It's circled. The name Makavelli with 2 L's and 1 L is copyrighted by the Tupac Amaru Shakur estate and by Tupac Shakur himself. Now, that's just one validation. That's the facts. That's the facts. Okay? Now, let me go into here's what I'm gonna insert. Now I'm gonna insert something. I gave you the facts. Now let me insert something. Okay. We're back again, and I may have gotten a little bit excited, but just continue to you, man. Yeah, like I said, I'm here to bring you facts. So I'm gonna bring you facts again, more facts. So, y'all remember this bronze statue, right? Now, everybody done criticized Mr. Finney Shakur for making this statue because Pac looks older
and this was supposed to represent him older in life for the fans. And look at Machiavelli. Look at Machiavelli's statue. This was made by, let me look at my notes here. It was made by Lorenzo Bertolini and Uffizi, an Italian sculptor, right? Made Machiavelli's sculpture. Tupac's bronze sculpture was made by Tina Allen, the late Tina Allen, rest in peace. Miss Afeni Shakur commissioned her to make this statue and put a book, and Makavelli has a book beside his. Now look at the comparisons between the two. Now if you look at the comparisons, Pac's bronze statue and Machiavelli's marble statue, they have unique comparisons. You understand me? They both got a book in the right hand. Look at this. They both have a book in the right hand. It's not a Bible now. It's a book. It's a book. And I'm going to explain to you why it's a book. And why Tupac looks older. See the book? That's not a Bible. That's a book. And I'm going to explain to you why it's not a Bible. Okay? Alright. So, obviously, this book in Machiavelli's hand could represent the prince, his work. So here's him with his work, right? Now let's look at Tupac and his book. This is Tupac older, right? And this is his book that's with him. It's not a Bible, it's a book. Now somebody would say, well, what will be his work? Ding ding! The White Book by Makavelli. And this is consistent, and I'm going to tell you why it's consistent. Because Makavelli wrote The Prince, Tupac wrote The White Book. You see the comparison? Now look at also at this. This statue was made around right prior to the grand opening of the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation in 2005. So this was roughly made in maybe 2004 or so, and it finally was shown to the public in 2005. Now the White Book was published on October 26, 2007. So this would make sense why they would give us an older version of Tupac and his book for the fans. That's to let us know that he has his work and he's older. Now, again, y'all could take this as a theory, but I consider this a fact. Now, I got all the facts out the way in the video about the books he read, but the fact is, in 2005, Pac would have been 34 years old, and in the statue, in 2007, when the book was completed, he would be 36 years old. You understand me? So that would be consistent with him being older in the pictures, in the statue. That would be consistent, because if he's 36 in 2007, that would make sense why he looks older, because he's almost 40 in that time frame of when that book was released. And also in 2005, when they presented this statue of him, that's also consistent, because in 2005 he would be 34, and that would make sense why they would introduce this statue, because he would be old writing the book, The White Book by Makavelli. Okay, now some people may not take this credibility serious, but I just explained to you why that makes sense. Because again, Pac emulated Makavelli. Look at the book. That's Makavelli with his book. Okay? It's not a joke, people. It's Makavelli with his book, right? And again, we see the sculpture of Tupac. That's Tupac with his book. With his book right there. Okay? With his work. Alright? Now, some people say, well, you're reaching a little bit too far. Like, what, do you have anything else? Okay. Now, I showed y'all the copyright. The fact that Miss Afeni Shakur did not play about copyright. Okay. So, I showed y'all that, and I showed you the fact that Miss Afeni presented us with this statue with his book, following, emulating Machiavelli. Okay. And that's actual fact too, by the way, because I spoke to somebody in the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation before it was closed down, and they told me that Miss Tina Allen was told by Afeni to create a statue that emulated Machiavelli's presence, and she gave them him with a book. But I went further because I think that the White Book by Makavelli is Tupac's work, and this was secretly hinted in there due to the comparison. But anyway, let me show y'all something. Okay, so, and we were finishing where we left off. Remember, this book is Afeni Shakur, Evolution of a Revolutionary, which, spoiler, it's also referenced in the White Book. Now, I won't say where because I want you to read the White Book. See? And this book was published on February 3rd, 2004. Okay? This right here is Assata Shakur, an autobiography. Now, if you read these two books, guys, you'll understand clearly why this book this is the next book. You'll understand why Tupac, and from a moral perspective, you understand why Tupac wrote this book. You understand me? Because both of his peoples were under surveillance. They were under surveillance, under FBI surveillance. So to understand this book, first you need to read Assata Shakur's book and Afeni Shakur's book. Okay? All right. So some say, well, what does this have to do with the validation? Let me explain something. Okay? Look at Afeni Shakur's autobiography. This is considered non-fiction. Now, this book, although a novel, they consider this fiction. See? But you have a balance. If you know how to double speak, fiction actually means non-fiction. If you read the book 1984, you'll understand double speak. That everything that is presented this way is actually means the opposite. So fiction would be non-fiction. And, we already know that due to the sensitive of this nature, the conspiracy, yada, 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 Machiavelli, And I explained to y'all the copyright issue, that in order for you to publish a book like this under that name, you have to have a copyright. You understand me? And Miss Afeni Shakur was still alive in 2007. And she was control over Tupac's brand, especially the Makavelli brand, with one L and with two L's. Because I just showed y'all that he had memorabilia where he spelled his name, Makavelli, with two L's as well. And even in the Hail Mary video, he spells it on the tombstone with two L's. They spell it with two L's and with one L. Okay? So, now this book, Afeni Shakur, let me show y'all something. Okay? This is Afeni Shakur, Evolutionary or Revolutionary. February 3rd, 2004. That's when it was published. Okay? This is documented facts. Now let's go to the White Book. The White Book was published on what? October 26, 2007. And they say that this book is 409 pages, but it's 7 pages off. Because 419 pages, but it's 7 pages off. Because look, this book was published with only 412 pages. 412 pages, just to show you. Okay? So that's the last page. There's no more pages. Ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of the book.
Okay? So it's 7 pages off. Now, the theory would be that this is 413 pages considering the barcode at the end, the barcode numbers, the ISBN number. This would be considered the 413th page, which is a symbolism of 8. 412, 4 plus 1 plus 2 is 7. So the symbolism of 7, the symbolism of 8 would be this page right here. It's not numbered, but this is the theory. Okay? Now, that's not the validation that I'm talking about, though. But this book was published on October 26, 2007, and Afeni Shakur's book was published on February 3rd, 2004. People say, well, what does that have to do with it? Okay? Now, I'm finna show you. Okay? Now, when I did a review of this book, I broke down a lot more numbers than I anticipated. So, Afeni Evolutionary of Revolution was published on February 3rd, 2004. Okay? That's exactly 3 years, 8 months, and 23 days after Afeni Shakur's book. So, 3 years later, if you count February 3rd, 2007, that would make 3 years. Okay? 8 months. It'd take 8 months later to get to October. Once you get to October, now you're at 8 months when it comes to October the 3rd. If you add 23 days, 23 plus 3 is 26, which is October the 26th. So that's where you get 3 years, 8 months, and 23 days. You add those numbers across, you get 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. You understand me? 3 years, 8 months, and 23 days, add them across, you get 1 plus 6 is 7. Now that's just one that's connected to his mother's book. And the other ones are connected after Tupac's death, all that, it's a little complex. There's a lot of other references I have towards that number, but again, that's a little far-fetched because it's a theory. I guess you could say it's a theory, but I'm under the impression that the mathematical part about it makes sense, because to connect that specific date is special due to the fact that it's connected to everything. It's connected to his album release. It's connected to a lot of stuff, and I'll do a separate video on it for you guys to understand it. Now, the obvious next one I said in my review is that the color schemes are favorable, which I really, that's nothing. But and then I went back down and said Hussein Fatal had Makavelli the tattoo. He didn't misspell. People really do believe that tattoo artist misspelled Hussein Fatal's tattoo. That's bullcrap. Makavelli, Hussein Fatal, he knew what time it was. He knew about the book. But to make a long story short, guys, because everybody wanted to know if the book was valid, I think the book is valid. I think it's the truth. Because again, this book, this name Makavelli is copyrighted under Tupac. The only person that you cannot publish anything without that would be copyright infringement if you did that. So that should be big enough proof for you, aside from everything else I showed you, is the copyright. The fact that this name was found in Tupac's memorabilia and his songs. That's the undeniable fact. All right. It's a lot of stuff in this book, and it's worth the pickup too, man. It's a lot of stuff you'll find out. Like I said, and then look in here. So you see the book Sefer Yetzirah, the Book of Creation. I have that book, and the Kabbalah. I have this book. That's this book, ladies and gentlemen. Sefer Yetzirah. You understand it? Okay. This book is the Kabbalah. It's like the Kabbalah, but it's one of the most hardest books to understand. You know, and this is one of those studies that Pac would be into. You know what I mean? You know, so I have it, and this is a good chapter of the book. That chapter of the book talks about esoteric knowledge, and this is the Kabbalah, meditation and Kabbalah. You understand me? Pac read a book on the Kabbalah, and I'm gonna prove it to you right here. Hold on.
Alignment, the ancient mysteries, astrology, the Buddha, challenge, Christ, the impact of color, our state of consciousness, medicine, the moon, the occult teachings, Rajneesh, telepathy, the Kabbalah, the Tibetan Book of the Dead.
Tupac
He
read the
roots
Kabbalah.
a number of times. Talar Chardin, the phenomenon of man. And as you study to
See?
understand how much he incorporated his reading, even his last albums. So Pop would read a book like this, you know, it's a pretty big book.
He did read that.
And he would attack people's definitions. So what is cultural literacy?
Yeah, and just to let y'all know, like, I stick to the facts, guys. Look at this. I stick to the facts. I have this book, The Dictionary of Cultural Literacy. That's the exact same book she has. That's the exact same book that I have. This is the exact same book that Tupac read. Guys, I only stick to the facts. I try to stay away from the theories. I got a little lost at the end with the numerology and all that other shit. Because it's amazing how he just put it in his stuff. But the facts do not lie. The facts do not lie. Okay? So, even though this book is painted as fiction, every book reference, every song reference in this book is fact. So, again, this is more of a cautionary tale rather than it being just complete bull. It's not bull. You understand me? It's what you need to know. So I would say to each Tupac fan, you need to read this. You need to study this. There's information in there other than what that dude said in the video by saying that he was smoking weed and with his friend, and they was saying, "Oh yeah, we should write a book." No, bro, don't listen to him. This book was written by the Don himself, because there's information in here that would take you years to master. You understand me? And the Kabbalah, look, this is one of the hardest things to study. The Kabbalah is one of the hardest things to study. Look at this. Look, it even says in here, this book contains divine names. Do not take it into the bathroom or any other unclean place. Guys, the Kabbalah is a real esoteric book. It's very esoteric. It's very esoteric. You understand me? It's esoteric knowledge. You can look this up. It's esoteric knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people read stuff like this. This is stuff for like secret societies and other people, you know. This book is especially hard to decode. Historical fact that this is the Kabbalah and Judaic studies. You understand me? This is the Kabbalic texts. You know, Ariana Grande said her brother used to study the Kabbalah. But that stuff is hard to understand. It's one of the hardest stuff to understand. Okay? So, and in some ways we can compare it with the White Book. When I first read this book, it was hard to understand. You know, you have to decode it. Just like the Kabbalah, you have to decode it. But once you understand it, then you could decode the names, and then you will start to realize, oh, this shit we need to know this shit. It's a lot of stuff in here highlighted. A lot of stuff. Like, I read this book 3 times, and still I'm finding new information in here, including information that predicted the Tupac hologram, to Obama being president, and all that other stuff. And the only person I could think of who had that type of information on hand was Pac. You understand me? And like I said, and that's why you look on Amazon, you look at the reviews, and you see the results. The results don't lie, bruh. The results don't lie. People, if it was, trust me, if it was bullshit, it would not get no good reviews on Amazon. You understand me?
So it's plausible deniability, ladies and gentlemen. It's called plausible deniability. You know, those guys that showed up in the interview, in that video on YouTube, they were just, look, all good reviews. People know that it was written by Tupac. Okay? That guy is just probably dismissing it because he probably read the book and did not understand it. You understand me? He didn't understand it. Okay? You understand me? Y'all got to get in the know. Look, many fans have got this book. They know what time it is. They know what time it is. Guess who else got this? Bet y'all didn't know this. Guess who go? Common. You know, I ain't trying to put Buddy on the spot, but Common got the book. Look what he has in his hand. This is Common now. Now, Common visited Assad Shakur. Look at that. That's the white book by Makavelli. There go the a novel part. There go the white book. And there go Makavelli right there. You see? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, guys? It's truth. This book is the truth, man. This book is the truth, man. It's the truth. You'll get the truth, but you just gotta peep game, like Pac said. You gotta peep game, cause it's not gonna come to you easy. You understand me? Now, when you read the book, white book by Makavelli, you're gonna need to study it along with Jonathan Lippy, and you're gonna need a decode list. You know, I have most of the excerpts off truthabouttupac.com. These are most of the excerpts, you know, because it talks about excerpts. You know what I mean? You're going to run across them in the book. And then I also have, I'm running out of time. I also have a decoded list. See, this is decoded list I got off Truth About Tupac. I'll put a link. I'm going to try to see if I could put a link in the description. If I don't, I'm going to give it to y'all later. But I just wanted to get this out here that the white book by Makavelli, in my eyes, is validated. It's a valid document. It's valid. It is of Pac's stuff. It is Pac's. You know what I mean? It's just esoteric knowledge. It's not meant for everybody to know. Again, you see that Makavelli is, you know, it's there. This is all his writing material. Look, Makavelli. You know what I'm saying? It's been watermarked, so nobody can't touch it. You understand me? And you heard the soundbite earlier in this video. And you saw that this right here, it's UV based, and that costs a lot of money to do that. To a publishing company, that costs a lot of money to put that on your cover. You know, the UV effect. You know what I mean? With the sparks and everything. You look closely, it looks like bullet holes. You know, looks like bullet holes. You know, see, looks like bullet holes. But again, I'm gonna end this video. So I think I covered all parts. I really didn't want to cover the white book because again, that's just spinning theories. But I felt like I needed to talk about the book since there was this guy on YouTube trying to invalidate the book, trying to tell us and make us believe that he wrote the book when he didn't even copyright the book. He don't own the copyright to Makavelli. You know, you understand me? So again, it's not a shun to. I'm not dissing NC Studios. I'm not dissing this guy per se. I'm just telling y'all that he's a front guy to cover up. You understand me? So as long as people know that he's here, they're gonna take him as fact. And inevitably, that's going to protect Tupac in the long run. Because people are not going to come to the realization that Pac wrote this book. Because plausible deniability. You see? You got people who believe and people who don't believe. You know, it's a balance. It's a balance right there. Good and evil. Tupac talked about it in his interviews. Good and evil. You understand me? So as long as you got two sides, there's a balance.
There's going to be some people who believe this, some people who don't. There's going to be some people who listen to Tupac's music to get forward in life, and some people who listen to Tupac's music and be like, all right, that's good, but I'm tired of listening to that shit. You know what I'm saying? So there's a balance. It's a balance. The last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to end this video, is that in this book, you'll also find that there are certain parts, certain dialogue in this book that only Pac knew. And I said that before, but I'm talking about only people close to him know. You know, like actual people who've been around Pac. They are disguised by name. They're disguised, but I decoded it and I know some of the names. And I could reach out to some of the people that actually worked with Pac and validate this. But I'm not going to, because again, I got to keep my loyalty to Makavelli the Don. I don't want him to think differently on me. You know, so I want to stay on his good side. That's what it's all about. But I predict by 2019, every Tupac fan will be done read this book. And that's when the truth come out. This is the last thing I want to show you. I wanted to show y'all this. Like I said, I don't usually do the theories, but I just found this interesting that Tupac was wearing a shirt that said, after 23 years, let the truth be known. See that? This is a real shirt. This is not Photoshop. And prove it's not Photoshop. Here it is again. Now, at first, this shirt was also on the Tupac Facebook page. Okay, see, there it is again. After 23 years, let the truth be known. See, look. See, after 23 years, let the truth be known. And again here, after 23 years, let the truth be known. It says here, framed by the FBI, respected leader, liberation movement. It's a lot in this t-shirt, but I can't really decode it all. But that's all I have to say, you know, and if you guys want to find it yourself, all you got to do is Google after 23 years, let the truth be known. And 1996 plus 23 is 2019. So like I said, by 2019, everyone should have read this book, or at least have it in their possession. Because despite the fact what you think about it, there's real life information in this book. There's real life book references that you should be studying. The Kabbalah and all that stuff. It's all in the book. You got to decode it. All right. So, yeah, like I said, in my eyes, the white book is valid. It's been all over truthabouttupac.com. You know, I say it's valid. I don't know what everybody else says, but I brought you proof that Tupac actually said in his raps and in his memorabilia the name Makavelli with 2 L's. And again, yeah, so, you know, make sure y'all visit truthabouttupac.com. If y'all could see that, truthabouttupac.com, and we got the white book decoded. So this has been out for a long time, 2010. And that guy that said that he wrote the book, he just released that in what, 2018? See, this was published on June 3rd, guys. And it's been 2 months and they have not shown me any proof on their part. You know, but I showed you the copyright. I showed you the copyright in the book. I showed you the fact that you know, Makavelli actually wrote with 2 L's. I showed you Common with the white book himself. I showed you Tupac fans who knew the truth. Some of these Tupac fans bought the book
early back in when it was first released. You know what I'm saying? Some of them was in the Peace Garden when they was reading the book. Now, if you in the Peace Garden in the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation, if you're in the Peace Garden reading this book, come on, man. That means Afeni Shakur saw you reading the book too. I mean, come on now. If she really would have passed the book off as a fake, come on, man. No. It's esoteric knowledge. It's meant to be studied, just like the Kabbalah. It's not meant for everybody to know. You know what I'm saying? So, that's all I have to say. I'm done.
537. Cover is en route. They should be there any second.
Well, particularly the youth.
They ain't gonna be enlightened.
Why not?
They ain't gonna listen.
They have to listen to somebody.
I didn't listen. I didn't listen till I came here. Bad people was telling me, watch out, look out, signs up ahead. I was like, yeah, I got this, I got this. You know what I mean? I hope they listen. But
Don't
listen.
underestimate the youth of America.
Oh no, I got mad props in them. I was one of them, but I'm just telling you what's real. You know what I mean? A hard head make a soft behind. It took 5 bullets for me to stop and see what was really going on.
Well, we're gonna play this,
and we're
gonna play this interview, and we're gonna see if they pick up on it.
We're gonna see. I hope they do.
Okay.
And I hope they look out for the next projects, the community projects, the albums, the movies. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is that, you know, I'm giving it my best shot to do right by the community. Y'all do right by me. Support me, I'll support you. If I feel like I ain't got no support, then, you know, ain't no need in me being out here putting myself on Front Street. If I feel like I'm getting supported, I go all the way. Just like I went all the way for Thug Life, I go all the way for the community. But as soon as y'all turn y'all back on me, I'll turn my back on y'all, and we won't have nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? I go ahead and do something crazy and cut my nose up and, you know, bug out. But y'all support me, I'll support y'all. Now, you know I ain't gonna go out like that. I'm just saying. But I also want to thank everybody for doing Temptation, the video for me, all the people that supported me, Tony Danza that wrote me, and all the people that wrote me, you know, the mothers, the kids, everybody that wrote me. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry I can't write everybody back, but I do feel it. And you'll get my answer in the albums.
Okay. Thank you for granting us the interview, Tupac.
Thanks for coming, man. You got me out of my cell. We on lockdown right now. Some kid just got murdered. We can't even move. No food, no yard, no programs. We stuck in our cells, so it was good I could get out for a hot second. And especially, you know, find out I can get this bizzle ready to hop out, you know. And look for Death Row in the future. We finna come out pretty tight.
Sign with
No question. Sign with Death Row.
All right.